Inside the Ropes is a Golf Manitoba production.
To make sure the TP5 is the best ball for every shot in golf, we had some friends put it to the test.
One hop and stop.
Hydra.
No matter the shot, there's one ball that's better for all.
Check.
Introducing the newly redesigned TaylorMade TP5 and TP5X, only from TaylorMade.
Tim, appreciate you taking some time today to join us inside the ropes. First and foremost, as we take a look at you here right now, it looks like you're ready to go play golf.
Yeah, first off, thanks for having me. And yeah, I'm always ready to go play golf. I'm playing later today, but I usually always dress like a golfer, and I always carry my clubs because just in case I get a few minutes and I drive by a range, like I'll go hit balls. I'm like obsessed. I'm definitely obsessed with golf.
So as you are dressed like a golfer right now, are you professing yourself to be a golfer as well?
No, I'm a hack. Like I'm being dead serious. I am like a hack. I have a really bad over the top swing. I would say that, I golf every day. I'm trying to get better. I'm getting better, but yeah, no, I'm like easy money is like kind of my nickname. It's easy money. So obviously I'm kind of joking, but I'm also like serious. Like most hockey guys I play with, they're pretty good. And I'm usually the guy getting a lot of strokes, but at the end of the day, I am getting better. So yeah.
What's your handicap right now, and what are the pros, I guess, and cons of your game?
Handicap's a 13-4. I mean, I know that the new system, at least we have, changes daily, but I'm good around the greens. That's probably like my biggest thing. Like anything around, 100 yards in, pretty confident with. Putting, I'm okay. The worst part of my game is the tee box. By far the worst part of my game. Like distance, I'm never like I'm always like never putting myself I'm always like punching out. Like it's just like I'm always like I don't know. I'm an amateur, and I'm just learning. But yeah, tee box is by far the worst, but yeah, short game is probably my best.
So we obviously know you from coming to Winnipeg when the Jets came back in 2011, and we've all followed your career since, but we're talking golf here today. So take us back into, was it the childhood for Tim Stapleton that got you involved in the game, or where did that passion really get going for you in the game of golf?
No, and that's probably the part where I kind of wish I would have played growing up, but I never did. I think, I remember playing a little bit when I was young, but never was taught. And I think, it's funny because these guys, I watch pro golf all the time. These guys on the tour, like I have so much respect for the guys on the tour and the actual game, because like we think, oh, he's a scratch golfer, like someone's like a one and how good we can be. And it's like, these guys are on a whole different level. And then these guys also just like with hockey too, it's like repetition from like the age of 3. So for me, I started late. I got into it more like in college, and then, but I've always just played and had fun and drank and like kind of got away with that kind of game. But then like probably in the last 2 years, like now I've been getting more like serious and into it, and learning how to swing the right way. And like, I'm the guy at the grocery store who's like air swinging in line, like trying to get the hips through. Like I'm obsessed. And I think, I would say in the last 2 or 3 years is when I got like really into it.
You talk about watching pros and how they're able to make it look so easy. Do you have a pro that you're maybe more of a fan of than others, or is there a group of players right now that from Thursday to Sunday you're just glued to if they're on television saying, hey, this is what I want to be one day?
Well, by far the biggest fan of Tiger Woods I've always been. So like he almost controls me to the point where like if he's not involved in like, Saturday, Sunday, like I'm like watching I'm just watching Sunday. Right. But obviously with him, not playing as much, I like Koepka. I like all the young, there's really not anyone I don't like. I'm amazed at like how far these guys hit the ball now. And the game, just because I play it so much, I watch how like easy they make it look. But then I get it though. Like I get like how hard it is, like these guys are on just a whole different level of discipline and mental. My problem is, I'll be putting on the 8th hole thinking about the putt I missed on 1. Right? Like that's, and these guys have to have, like, they got to forget about their last shot almost. And then it's just, that's how I look at the game, is just like how much discipline these guys have. Obviously they're talented and skilled, but they put a lot of time into it. So there's not, I like Rory. I like Koepka. I like Fowler, but overall, the Tiger's my guy. Like I just love Tiger. I've always have. And, I like cried the last time he won the Masters. It was like just that comeback, to come back and do that. Obviously there's judgment on things he's done, but I just care about his golf game. I'm watching him because of golf. So at least I tell my wife that I'm only watching him because of golf. But no, I love Tiger, and there's not many else I really follow.
You and I spent a lot of time at the rink together, and conversations that obviously turned to golf as well as hockey when we had to do our work. So take us inside some of the dressing rooms that you've been involved with and some of the really big golfers that are in the hockey world.
Wheeler, like Blake Wheeler, he's good. We played together a few times. Joe Pavelski is a friend of mine. He's probably the best golfer in like hockey/golfer. I think he's like a +2 or something. Adam Burrish. There's a few guys out of the Madison, Wisconsin area. But what's funny is, like, I golfed one time, and they probably don't even remember, but it was me, a good friend of mine's Rennie Bork, who's retired, and then it was Tyson Berry and Braden Shen, and we were all in Hawaii. And I was visiting Rennie, 2 old retired guys, and they were there for like maybe a break, like the All-Star break or something. So we all golfed, and I remember I'm the one that asked the question, Lindsay. I'm like, so guys, out of all the hockey guys you've ever played golf with, like, who's the worst? And they were like, you, by far. Like, they told me I was the worst. And you know what? I probably am. It's just like like I said, I'm not a terrible golfer, but compared to a lot of the hockey guys, I'm probably one of the worst. But yeah, Wheelers, Pavelski, Burrish. I played with Burrish in juniors, but I'm trying to think who else. I feel like the last 2 years since I've been done playing is where I got way more into it.
So you've watched this program before then, knowing that the next question coming up was who's the worst. And you've taken that right out of the repertoire here.
Yeah, I didn't want to be surprised by that. I just wanted to kind of be like, hey, don't even ask. It's me, and we can move on.
Moving on, though, you do have bragging rights, because I've seen you do some other interviews in the past, and you and I have talked about this numerous times. But tell us about not only the hole, but the holes in one, as they're referred to, because you've got multiple under your belt.
I got multiple. One was legit, and I'll explain what that means. One was with a group of guys, like Josh Hennessy was with me, and then 2 other guys. So it was awesome. But what was weird is, both happened when I was, the first one happened when I was already like 35 over. So selfishly, I was just like, and guys were like, they were more excited for me than I was. It was the first one. But that happened in like March, and my club the club I belong to doesn't open. And there's like I don't know if you're probably familiar with this, but they have these hole-in-one contests where the members pay. So it was like $7,000 or $8,000 or something that, like, because it was before this, it didn't count, which I kind of knew that. But the second one, I already played 18, and I forgot my club, one of my wedges on the 18th green, and I went back to get it. And as I'm driving, I was driving like over, like through the first fairway, and there was a guy, another member, and he's yelling for me to come over. He's playing by himself, and so he's like, "Hey, play with me, join me." So I joined him, and I was like, "Hey, I just played. I'll stay for like a half hour." And then it was like the third hole into that round. I was actually telling him a story before I was about to hit, and then I hit the ball, and I turned and started telling him the story, because, like I said, at this time I wasn't really. It was like I was already done. And then, like, mid-story, he's like, "Hey, this is gonna go in," and it went in. And I turned around, but that, like, my mind was like, I knew it was like a fraud hole-in-one, because it was like I didn't even, so I just continued his story. He's like, he's like, you got a hole-in-one, but that was the second one. We actually called the clubhouse then. It was like the week after the club like officially closed. So otherwise, if I would have played and finished in that, that round, if I would have had to play another like 15 holes, if that was legit, that would have been cool. But yeah. those were my 2 hole-in-ones. So I don't know if the second one counts, but I still will always tell people I got 2 hole-in-ones.
So what would make you not continue that round? Like that's the thing that I think of right away. And I understand having to get home if you've got something going on, but getting an ace kind of gives you the green light to keep going, doesn't it?
Oh, well, first off, what's funny is like, it was like the very next hole. Because I live off the golf course. I was just like, hey, I'll see you later, Tom, and just drove away. And he said that when he saw me later on. He's like, who just leaves after like a hole-in-one? And I'm like, man, it didn't count, whatever. But going back to that, I think it was more, it's a great question. I don't know. It's kind of a guy, like I'm a codependent person. Like probably I should have just been like, hey man, I'm not playing. Like I'm good. But instead I was like, oh, I gotta keep this guy happy that I see once, every 4 months. And it was probably like that where I was just like, I gotta go. But, and that's no offense to the guy I was with, but it was just like, I shouldn't have been there to begin with.
From your travels around the world, some of the favorite golf courses you've had an opportunity to play, what would they be?
Oceans Club, which I didn't, not for, but I'm also the guy, Munzie, that like if I shoot well, it's like the best course ever. That guy, like some dog track. But no, it was Oceans Club. There's a course I played in Coast Cabo. I don't know if you mentioned it. Not Cabo, sorry. Yeah, Cabo. There was a course that I loved. It was right on the ocean there. I can't remember the name of it. Man, this is a great question. Oceans Club is probably. I'm kind of drawing a blank. I played at a course in Barbados that was awesome, but like for me to sit out here and I'm kind of drawing a blank on like the names of these courses. I played the Olympia Club, I think it's called, in San Francisco. That was fun. That was nice. And then, Sand Valley, which is like the Midwest Bandon Dunes they have now. Have you ever been to Bandon Dunes?
Yes, once. Awesome.
Yeah, I never been there. I heard it's awesome, but like Kaiser built like another one. Like it's in Wisconsin called Sand Valley. That's similar. Oh, you know what? About a year ago, I played with, I went for like 5 days to a place in Nebraska called the Prairie Club. You ever heard of that?
No.
So, I mean, it's like semi-private. You remember a guy named Sean Hill, defenseman?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. He's the member there. And then Eric Cole came. I didn't know Cole at the time, but obviously got to know him. And then a friend, I was a guest of a guest is what I'm saying. Like, so.
Friend of a friend of a friend?
Yeah. I was the guest of the guest, but we stayed for 4 days. And that place was one of the coolest places I've been to, just because it's like, if you like, it's not like you're going to go and have this entertaining, like outside, like there's things to do at night. Like you're just like the closest gas station's like 30 miles and you just pull into this place and it's 2 18-hole courses. They got these cabins, like you're just golfing. Nice. I think we played like 56 holes a day. Ooh. And you're just, it was like, you just play and then you just go until you can't see your ball. And, they obviously have like little amenities inside this area, but like there's no sign. It was really cool. And there's like, you could like just kind of do like a whole 360 turn and there's just like, you see nothing. You're just like in an open field and it's just beautiful golf course. But that was one of the coolest places I played. And that was recent for sure. So
where haven't you played yet that is kind of on the to-do list or the bucket list here right now? And I guess if I'm giving out, the chance to play some dream locations, who would it be with too?
Well, what's that place called? And they play like the Masters at Augusta. I would love to. Yeah. And the funny thing is, I've run across people like that are like, I'm going to get you out there. And I'm like, dude, stop. Like, obviously I would love to, but I heard it's like impossible. But I've never been to Bandon Dunes. I would love to play Bandon Dunes. I mean, that's definitely on the list.
Yeah.
But as far as golfing with people, obviously at the level of the PGA, I would love to golf with Tiger Woods, obviously. But I'm a stand-up comedy guy. Like I would love to golf with like a Dave Chappelle, or like I'm a huge Bill Burr fan. Like guys that would just, they don't necessarily have to be obsessed with the game. just more good conversation and just not talk when I'm swinging, right? Or, don't swing when I talk, right? Like that's always the line I use. So,
Or there might be
but yeah.
conversation all the way through the entire thing here.
Yeah, I'm swinging during my backswing. No, it's but as far as like golfers, like Tiger would be cool. Or his kid was awesome. You see that when him and his son golfed?
Absolutely.
That was so cool. But
like, how does that make you feel that you already know that you're not going to beat his son? Like he's going to take you to the course and school you.
Yeah, but I do that with like the college women's, like I do that with like everyone can beat me. like he would murder me. But I just, I know it's all joking aside. I just think it's, the only thing I think about is like, I wish I would have played at a young age like that. Like I got my son into it and obviously only if he wants to. Yeah. And he likes it. I mean, I would never make my son do it. But he loves to do it. I just think it's I just think it's a healthy sport. I think it's, I always like, on a more serious side, I think it's kind of like a metaphor, for life. Like you could do something one day, certain yardage, certain club, and literally go the next day and think that's going to be the same situation. It's not, and I think that's kind of like how you live a little bit. Like you kind of got to make decisions on the present moment. Not to get all like philosophical on you, but it's just a healthy game. I love golfing by myself. I do that a lot. I go golf by myself. And not necessarily I go play 18 holes, but I just like to go out there and mess around and just, it's more of like a meditation. I talk to myself. Maybe that's why I'm not good. I don't really practice anything. I just go like let things out that I can't let out at home. But overall, I'm a big fan of the sport and I have a lot of respect for those guys. Yeah.
Stapes, it's always fun to catch up. Usually it's hockey, but boy, I've enjoyed the golf conversation more and more over the years. And I think everybody else is here today as well. So keep in touch. And next time you get back north of the border here and into the city and around the province, we'll get you out to one of these Golf Manitoba courses.
Monzi, always a pleasure. And thanks. I'll try to make my tee time now. I'm going to be late.
Sounds good.
And I'm going to be that guy. I'm going to be that guy that's late. All right, Monzi. Yeah, and, stay safe out there. I know things aren't great, but obviously it'll come around. And anytime, I love catching up with you. Hope all is well.
Trunk to the tee. That's the way to play.
All right, Monzi. Good seeing you.